Hello and welcome to another daily devotion. This week we're talking about biblical humor. Now this one I might ruffle little feathers with because on the one hand it's not that humorous, but on the other, some of us may have been there. This one reminds me of a college party where perhaps a friend of yours, I have a friend who was drinking, says, "Oh my gosh, check out that person over there." And you're saying, you may have had a little too much to drink because you thought that person was anyway, that maybe not as attractive as you think. Well, then later, one thing happens to another, and not that this has any happened to anybody, but the next morning, the person has some regrets. Well, enter Jacob. You know Jacob in Scripture, Jacob and Esau, Jacob, patriarch of Israel. He goes after Esau threatens to kill him, and he's living with his uncle Laban. He's working because he is trying to earn his keep. His uncle's paying them, although very shrewdly. And then Jacob says, "Listen, I've developed an eye for your daughter Rachel. She's the love of my life. Can I work 7?" And Laban says, I'll let you work 7 years, and you can have my daughter Rachel. And we all know Jacob's kind of a shyster. You know, he's always con-manning. He's always, taking his brother's birthright, his brother's blessing, dressing up in the whole sheep costume and goat costume and, duping his brother out of his birthright and blessing, with his mom's help, by the way. And so his uncle, on his wedding day, instead of trotting out Rachel, presumably in a heavy veil and a lot of drinking, trots out his eldest daughter, Leah, who is of plain eye, it says, while it describes Rachel as very beautiful. And we read that Jacob goes into the tent all joyful to be married to Rachel after 7 years, and he wakes up and there is Leah in the morning. Yeah, a very small text, but you think, wow, how is this even possible? This guy spent the night with this girl after being around her for 7 years and doesn't recognize different body type, different voice. I mean, did she not say anything all night? Are you kidding me? This just doesn't make a lot of sense unless this guy is 3 sheets to the wind, just fall on the floor drunk, right? So how does he not know? It's a different girl. Are you kidding me? And I say it's a little bit of a shadow side of it because what did good old Uncle Laban promise to Leah? Did he tell Rachel she's going to marry Jacob and then at the same time tell his oldest daughter, no, you're going to marry him? So when she goes in, the next morning, Jacob, takes off the beer goggles and he says, "Oh my gosh, Leah, are you kidding me? What are you doing?" And he runs out of the tent. One wonders, and I feel badly for Leah because maybe she was thinking that Jacob loved her. And we see this rivalry between sisters the whole time. But anybody reading the biblical Hebrew, those who are listening to the story would say, what goes around comes around. Jacob's always trying to, he's got the fake Rolexes and he's trying to sell things to people. He's trying to get people duped. And all of a sudden, the duper gets duped by his uncle. Good old Laban pulls the wool over his young nephew's eyes. And anybody, the Hebrew people would have looked at that and said, "Jacob, you deserve that one." Maybe so. It's the oldest humor piece of the Hebrew Bible of what goes around comes around. Or, karma's a tough nut to crack. Anyway, food for thought as you're thinking about some of the humor interladen through the biblical texts that we often read so strictly and piously. Hope you've enjoyed them, and I hope you're having a great and a week where maybe it's okay to laugh at yourself and others a little bit, just not in a mean-spirited way. Have a great one.